Okay, so to start this then, we start with a magic loop, and I'm going to leave a lovely long tail because it's a bit difficult to sew it in. Well, cotton doesn't stretch, so you need a nice long tail. I'm going to show you how I do my magic loop. It's ever so easy. We just make a loop, pop in the hook and bring it through and do a chain, and you've done your magic loop. None of that wrapping around fingers malarkey. Okay, so inside this magic loop and working over the tail, we want 15 UK trebles. 15 is an odd number, but we do need 15. And the first one is going to be my stack. So I'm going to go into the loop and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through both of them. And in this vertical post, I'm going to just insert my hook, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through both of them. I do this because those two loops there become my last stitch, and it's so much easier to sort of get into it. Okay, so now I'm going to make 14 UK treble crochets, which are double crochets in the US. So if I say trebles, you'll know that I mean a US double if you work in US terms. It's important that you kind of know that because we are going to be doing lots of different stitches and they're all called something different. So that's 4. I'm going to pause the video and I will catch up with you once I've done my 15th stitch. Okay, so I'm just going to count them, make sure I've got the right amount. It's going to tug this a little bit because it's a little baggy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and there's my 15th. So that's cool. We've got our 15. Pop my hook back in. I'm just going to give this a little tug. It doesn't have to be completely closed at this stage, but I'm just going to tug it, and I'm going to go through the 2 loops as I said and close with a slip stitch. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how we're going to make it into a star. We're going to chain 4. We don't want them ultra baggy, but we don't want them tight either. So in the back bumps of our stitch, okay, we're going to make, we're going to not go in the first one, we're going to go in the second one. Into the back bumps, we're going to do a UK double crochet. So we're going to yarn over and we're going to go through the 2 loops. And in the next back bump, we're going to do a UK double treble, which is a half treble, which is half double. Got very confused then. And so we need to go in the back bumps. It's quite important for this. Okay, so there it is. We're just going to pop. Doesn't like to do it when I'm on camera, but it's because I've got a camera in between us. And go through all 3. So that's my half treble. So if I say half treble and you're working in US terms, you'll know it's a half double. Now I'm going to do a UK treble, which of course we all know is a double crochet in the US. So there we are. We've got all our stitches. We're going to skip, and go into the 3rd with a slip stitch. And we're going to chain 4. We're going to turn it and find that back bump, and we're going to go and do the same as before. First one is our UK double. Second is our UK half treble. And in the 3rd one, our UK treble. And we're going to go skip, slip stitch into the 3rd one. So we're making our points. Okay, now I'm going to do another 3. I'll do the next one with you. Chain 4. Turn it, find that back bump in the previous chain. And in the next back bump, once you've done one, they sit up for you. We're going to do the half treble. And in the last one, the treble. And you can see we're coming out of this stitch, skip, and slip stitch into that one. So there's 3. I'm going to pause it then, and I'm going to do 2 more, catch up with you once I've done them and I'm ready to join it. Okay, so I'm done my last one, and I'm going to skip, and in this one here I'm just going to do my slip stitch. Okay, and then I'm going to do a chain, pull it low, and I'm going to cut this off and pull it through. Okay, so that is how it looks now. We've got our 5 points and we've got these tails. So now I'm going to pull that tight and I'm going to sew them in. Nice and simple. Well, I say that. It's never nice and simple when I'm trying to do it on camera. I'll do this one. Hopefully I won't struggle too badly. It does like to, hey, how about that? So here we are, we're coming out of there. I'm just going to go back into this last bit here. And once I've almost finished that loop, go back through, pull it, that makes a little knot. And now I'm going to just bury this tail. You can do this however you normally would. I mean, you probably all, many of you have different ways of doing this, but that's how I do it. And if you pull it, that little knot disappears and it becomes nice and flat. So just going to feed that through. This is why I liked a nice long tail. When we did our magic loop, it is quite tight going through there. Okay, so that's my last bit. I'm going to snip that off, and the reason that I'm doing this is because at the beginning of making this star, this shield, you will get quite a bit of ends, and they can get in the way, especially during the tutorial. So I'm going to pause it then while I bury this. All I'm going to do is feed it through there and go back round there again. Okay, so now it's going to be hard for me to get back into that back loop there, but I need to try. I need to do it. So I'm going to open it up a little bit here. I'll try anyway. For some reason it does really not like you to get in. Okay, I don't think that was the back loop though. Where am I going to get you? It's there really, isn't it? That bit. Need to open that up a little bit because it is important that you go through the back loops. Otherwise it doesn't look too good. Okay, so there we go. I'm in that back loop. I'm going to show you why I'm going to do this next part. Okay, so when I first made the star, I had all these like artifacts as I looked like sparkling star, looked like little sparks coming off it. Didn't like that at all, wanted it to be clean. So I had various incarnations of that, and I tried it in acrylic as well. This was made with Aran yarn just to see how it would come up. Again, see, there wasn't so much, but it was definitely cotton that was a little bit worse. So I did a little technique and it looked a lot better. The star didn't, but it did. So what I'm going to do now is bring in the blue. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go all the way around our star into the back loops only. And what we're going to do is go in the back loop and slip stitch. Okay, in the back loop and slip stitch. Every single one. Some of them look smaller than others. So they're going up there, then don't forget the top bit. Get in. That's it. And then down the other side, back loop. 1, 2, and 3 down the side. And then 1 in our slip stitch. And then all the way up the top. 1, 2, 3, and in the top. It's careful that you don't actually miss any, so it does throw your stitch count off. That one looks a bit baggy, doesn't it? 1, 2, 3, and in the slip stitch. Okay, we're going to do that all the way around, and that will get rid of that, where have I put you? Where have I put it? There. That will get rid of all this nasty kind of sparking that comes off, all these artifacts that make it look ugly. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go all the way around, and I'll get rid of those tails, and I will catch up with you then. I'm going to pause it, but make sure you do the 1, 2, 3, top 1, 1, 2, 3 in the slip stitch, all in the back loops, and you get this nice ridge that appears all the way around the star. I'll pause it then. I'll catch up with you once I get back to the start. Okay, I'm all the way around, and I'm going to go back into my slip stitch and do a slip stitch. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is a stack. So I'm going to go back in that same, back in that same stitch. I want to make sure I'm only going in the back loop. So there we are. Go back in, pull up a loop. We've got 2 on a hook, pull through both. Go in the next vertical bit and go through 2. But I don't want to stop there. I'm going to go into the next one there. So I'm doing my stack 3 high. Okay, so now we're going to be going smaller with our stitches as we go up the star and larger as we go down. Okay, and when we get to this point, it's different. So you do need to watch out. Okay, so we're going to go in the back loops only of our slip stitches, and we're going to do a UK treble crochet in the first one. We're going to do a half treble crochet in the next. Remember, that is a half double in the US. And in the next one, we're going to do a double crochet, which, remember, in the US is a single. And we're going to do 3 of those. 1 in the top, and 1 in the next one. I'm making this into a circle now. So down here, we're going to get larger. So we're going to do a half treble. Sorry if you heard that was my stomach. We're going to do a treble crochet. And now we're at the bottom. We're going to do something slightly different to this beginning. We're going to yarn over twice. We're going to, remember, we're only working in the back loops. We're going to go in and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and stop there. Go round twice, go into the next one, pull up our loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We've got 3 left. Yarn over and pull through all 3 of those. Okay, so now we're going to go back up again and do our treble, our half treble, and our double, and another double. Okay, just bear with me, I've got a parcel coming. So we're just doing 2 there. We did 3 this side, but it was slightly different. So we're going to do our half treble, our treble crochet, and now we're going to do our double treble 2 together. So through 2, and stop. In the next one, through 2, through 2, through 3. And we're going to repeat what we've just done. So we're going to do our UK treble crochet, our half treble crochet, and then we're going to do 2 UK double crochets. And now we're going to work all the way down again with a half treble crochet and a treble crochet, and now we're going to double treble 2 together, through 2, through 2, round twice again into the next one, through 2 and through 2, through all 3. And we're just going to repeat that up here, and I will catch up with you once we get back to this point here. Once again, I do apologise for the stomach if you heard that. I'll eat something after this. Okay, so I'm almost back. So the only one that was different was this one here. From there, it was just 2 in the top of your stars and the double treble in the bottom. But this one was the first one, so it was a little different. So just finishing off, my last stitch is my treble crochet. And now I'm going to join to the top of the stack. And I'm going to do a chain, cinch it down and end off this colour. Okay, so that's why I got rid of those ends, because this couple of rounds does make ends. Now you do get a little bit of that kind of sparking, but it is at a minimum, and that's really all that matters to me. Is like, I didn't want, there was so much of it, but sometimes you can't be off it when you get like a baggier stitch than others. But that is the star, and we've now made it into a circle. So we're going to be bringing in our red yarn, and we're going to make the outer part, if I can find it, like the outer part of the shield. Okay, so just going to pause it then while I bring in my red yarn and we can get started. Okay, so this time around I am just going to join in the stitch after this one, and I'm going to bring in my red yarn, and you can join this any way you want. I'm going to work over both tails, and I'm going to do 4 UK double crochets. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, going through both loops. As you can see, I'm going to give this one a little tug and it will make my end disappear in. So you just, next stitch we're going to do an increase. And we're going to do 4, and in the next one an increase. We're going to do that all the way around, and we want to make sure at the end of this we have a total of 42. So we need to make sure we keep count, and if we need to add one or subtract one, then we do that accordingly. But at the end of this round we want to have 42 stitches. So that's our repeat then. I'm going to pause the video. I will catch up with you when I get back to the start again. Okay, so I've made it all the way around. That's just the knot where I did my joins. If I give it a tug, it will disappear a little bit. And I'm going to slip stitch into my first stitch and end off. So with mine, I didn't do my last increase, and that is exactly 42 stitches. So I'm going to pause the video for a second. I know it didn't work out the way I first planned, because I changed slightly the way I did that star, and that meant that I had a couple of stitches more than it would if I just did 4 and increase, 4 and increase. So my last increase I didn't do, and it all worked out fine. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a frog in my throat. So now we're going to bring in the silver again. So I'm just going to pause the video while I do that. And also sometimes when you make a join, it does look like you've got 2 stitches there, but you haven't, you've only got 1, which is a bit nuisance, but never mind. I'm going to bring the silver in then. I'll pause it and I'll come back to you once I've got that. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in my silver, and it doesn't matter if you join it at the same place or not. It doesn't, normally speaking, I only like to work over one at a time, but for some reason this is working out better for me to join at the same space. And this time around, I'm going to just do my, get my stitch. This time around, I'm going to do half trebles. So in my first stitch, I'm going to place 2 in there because that's my increase. I always, if I started with a single stitch, I'll do an increase in my first. If I started with an increase in the previous round, then I'll do one in there. So what I'm basically saying is I don't want all my increases in the same place because it becomes like a hexagon. Okay, so this time round we're going to do 5 stitches. And then we're going to do an increase in the next one. So at the end of this round, we will have 49 stitches. Okay, so the next is 5 and then an increase. I'm going to drop that. Easier said than done. And my increase. I'm going to do that all the way around. So I shall pause the video then and I'll get back to you once I get back to the start, and I should end without an increase. And at the end of that, as I said, we should have 49 stitches. Okay, so I've made it all the way around and I'm going to slip stitch into my first stitch and then we're going to go back to the red again. So here we are. I'm going to try and go in the 2 loops there. Okay, I'm going to do my slip stitch rather to end it. Okay, so that's how it's looking now. So what I'm doing is I'm making my red rows a little thinner than these silver ones. So I'm just going to pause it a second while I bring in my new colour and I shall come straight back to you. Okay, so I'm going to join once again the red, and I'm going to do another row of UK double crochets, a nice thin row of reds. I'm going to work over the tail. So that is just my cinched down beginning. And we did start with a increase in the last, so I'm not going to increase this round. And of course, where we did 4, 5, you guessed it, we're going to do 6 now. So that's 1 and 2. If I make that one in the front, you don't see it. 3, 4, 5 and 6. Didn't look like it went in the right part. And then an increase in the next one. I'm going to repeat that all the way around, and at the end of this round we're going to have 56 stitches. Okay, so we're doing 6 and then our increase. And as we started on a single, we'll end on an increase. Okay, so I shall pause the video then and I will catch up with you once I've got all of my UK doubles all the way around. Okay, so I've made it all the way around and there we've got our Captain America shield perfect coaster. So what I'm going to do is, if I was going to, I'm going to carry on with this tutorial and make a square as well. So this will be the end of the coaster, but I will be carrying on to do the start of a square. So because I'm carrying on, I'm just going to slip stitch into here. But if I weren't, I would go through 2 loops here. I'm just showing you how to end this off. Well, I would be showing you if my hook wanted to go through back to front. Excuse me. I would then bring the loop through like that. Just bring it through. It's not going to want to, but there you go. And then I would cut my yarn and with the end feed it through here and sew it in. But obviously I don't want to do that for this particular tutorial because I'm going to carry on and make a square for a separate video. Okay, so I'm just going to end off, cinch that down. Of course, you can end off that way if you'd rather, if you find the other way a little bit too difficult. Okay, so for the coaster, that's all we do, and that is your Captain America shield without all those nasty artifacts, just a few little bits here and there, but looking good. Okay, so I'm going to make it into a square now, so I'm just going to pause the video while I bring in my white yarn and we'll get that square done. Okay, so this is one that I did earlier, and this is how I want it to look. So I made this one before when I was, you know, figuring out how to get rid of all these artifacts. And, well, it's sort of nice and centered, but it was very difficult to get that right. So I figured it out. What we need to do is we need to choose a point. Okay, we're going to choose a point. So I'll choose this one. So there is, tracing it up, we count back 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're going to join our white yarn here in that seventh stitch. Okay, so we count back 7 and we're going to bring in the white, and I'm going to just join it how I normally would. And in this one stitch, I'm going to do a stack to the height of a double treble. So that is 1, 2, oh dear, hang on, that didn't work out. I'm going to do that bit again. That's the trouble with cotton sometimes, don't you find? It splits a little bit too easily, and it, once it starts, it's kind of confusing to you where your stitch is. Okay, so my third one, now I'm up to the height of a double treble. See what I mean about the splitting? It's just cotton for you. Okay, so in the same stitch, I'm going to do a double treble. So that's yarning over twice, go into the stitch, pull up a loop, pull through 2, through 2, and through 2. So our repeat then, that's half a corner. We'll forget the fact that it's half a corner for now, and going along the side, this is our repeat. We're going to do, in the next 2 stitches, we're going to make a treble crochet. 1, 2, working over the tail. Okay, so in the next 2 stitches, we're going to do 2 half treble crochets. 1, 2, and in the next 5 stitches we're going to do UK double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to mirror back this part. 2 half trebles in the next 2 stitches, and just do 1 in each. And then 2 treble crochets. I'm going to drop that bit then, so it's quite small. Okay, which brings us back to the corner. This is our side, and our corner is 2 double trebles, 1 chain, 2 more in the same space, and that is a full corner, whereas we started with half a corner. And we're just going to repeat that side again all the way along. So the next 2 stitches are UK treble crochets. The next 2 stitches are half treble crochets. And then we want 5 doubles. And then 2 half trebles. 2 trebles, brings us back to the corner where we want 2 double trebles, 1 chain and 2 more in the same space. So I'll do this one and then we'll take a look, and that is our making this circle into a square. And as you can see, it's not absolutely perfect, but it will be in the next round. Now I'm going to repeat that. I'm going to go all the way along this side and all the way along this side. I'll come back to you once I get to here and we'll finish off that corner, but do be careful when you go over the join part that you don't end up with an extra stitch. Make sure you're not going to do that and you get your side correct, otherwise you'll end up with an extra stitch somewhere. But it is difficult, I know, sometimes when you've got a join to work out where that'll be. Okay, then I'm going to pause the video and I'll come back to you once we've done that, and we'll finish off this corner and we'll do the next round. Okay, so I'm on the last bit. So I have my 2 half trebles, my 2 triple crochets, and then I've got to finish this corner with my 2 double trebles, and I'm going to go into the top of my stack, which is the 2 loops here, and doesn't want to go in. I hate cotton sometimes, it's such a mission. It's lovely and soft cotton though. Anyway, I'm going to join by bringing up a loop and going through both of those. So it's kind of given me the same space between my 2 double trebles as a chain would, and it's put me dead center. So this round then is my last round. Of course, you can do more if you want, but the reason that I've done the counting back is because I want at least one of the points of my star to be dead center. It'll be the only one that actually is, but at least one would be. Okay, so my corner, or I'm going to do half a corner, as you know, is going to be treble crochet. So I'm going to go into this between my 2. There's my 2 and my 2 there. So I'm going to pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through both of those, go into this vertical bar and do my stack, do 1 more UK treble crochet. So that's half a corner. Now I'm going to do 1 UK treble crochet in every single stitch along this edge. Of course, the only reason that I'm making this in cotton was because the project for this square was to make a coaster. So it's a standalone kind of tutorial as well. And you can make it in acrylic if you want to. You can make it in any size as long as you use the corresponding crochet hook. I think as well you hide those little sparky artifacts a little easier with acrylic. Okay, so I'm back at the corner. So we're now going to do a full corner, which is 2 UK treble crochets, 1 chain, 2 more in the same space. All right, and then we're going to carry on doing 1 in each along the full corner, 2, 1 chain, 2, 1 in each along, full corner, 2, 1 chain, 2, and then 1 all the way along here. And I will pause the video then, and I'll catch up with you once we get to here and finish off that corner. Okay, so I've done one in every one along that side. I just need to finish off this corner by putting 2 more in there. Now, if you wanted, maybe you were making a blanket and you had some stars and you had some silver squares, some red squares, some blue squares, then you could finish off in the dead center again by doing that UK double crochet and then leaving a nice long tail to sew up. But I'm just going to chain 1 and slip stitch into this stitch here and end off that way. Nice long tail. That way my corner spaces are all identical. So there we are. We have Captain America square. So that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye bye for now.